Hey everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Dragonheir Silent Gods. And I'm joined by Odd One Gaming, aka my husband. Hey.
Hello, hello.
Hello from the other room.
Exactly. Hello from the other side.
So I actually had this idea to do this topic. It's something I did with Hell Hades for Raid Shadow Legends forever ago. And I had the idea of maybe doing it for Watcher of Realms, but then I realized it actually lended itself even better for Dragonheir, based on all the debuffs and buffs and control and the way the kind of characters are in this game kind of fit this fun idea. So my fun idea is involving yearbook superlatives. Odd one. Did you guys have that? Did you have like most likely to succeed, class clown? Did you have that in Romania?
No, that's not a thing that we had in Romania. However, I watched your one with Hell Hades, obviously when you did the raid one. I really loved it, so I'm happy to do this one.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I want to know. Let me know in the comments below, guys. What other countries besides America? Do any of you guys also do that? Like, you put your, like, best... It's kind of like your best in class. So you might put your prom king and queen in the yearbook. But there's a whole section for funny stuff, like cutest couple, even. Or so many
That's
funny...
Us.
So many funny things that you could see, you probably might see in movies. But yeah, that's really how the yearbooks are in the US. So I like to kind of twist it and make it in the form of our games. So this is going to be a like best in game kind of. Like we're going to start off listing a couple just best and then like a best in show, right? Like a dog show.
Yeah.
And then we're going to kind of go through and we're going to be mentioning things that are involving buffs, debuffs, control, healing, cleansing, all that kind of stuff, mechanics in this game. So a lot of these people that we mentioned probably are the best option for that job. So hopefully this can help people utilize maybe some you didn't even think of before. I feel like I pulled out some creative ones for this. But we're only going to talk epics and rares because it's so obvious that you'd be like, who's the most likely to one-shot you? A legendary. Who's the most likely to whatever? A legendary.
Filito.
So, yeah, Filto. Exactly. I made the kill you in one shot, which is going to be, oh yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, I made that with Filto on mine. That I'm like, wait, legendaries are just too obvious. So let's continue our fun with giving some love to the epics and rares.
That's true.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll read for each thing, and then Odd One, you can go ahead and say your answer first, and then I'll say my answer after for each one.
Okay.
That cool? That cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right, so let's start off with just the best in game. So who's going to be the top of that yearbook? For the epic, if you could have one epic, pick one from the box. Start off your account. Which epic would it be?
I guess it would have to obviously be Voresh, because he's so versatile. He just, he brings the utility from his kit for everyone in the game. He brings you buff removal, buff prohibition, damage, healing. It's like he's everything. It's not like he's the best at one thing. It's just he's the most versatile, and he would be the most helpful, for sure.
I agree. I put Voresh as well because I still think he's #1 epic in the game, period. I know a lot of people really, really, really love Garius, the tank, but, like, yeah, he's just a tank and healer, where Voresh is a healer and a debuffer, a buff preventer, a damage dealer. He's a little bit more versatile, and I think he can help people progress a little bit better than just a tank where Horus that we get for free is actually a pretty solid tank for progression, so Voresh fills a different role, right?
That's true.
All right. Now, on to the rares. Best rare. Only picking one in the game.
It has to be Sigrid. She's just a monster. Sigrid is just a beast. Like, the utility that she brings and the damage is just obscene. Also bringing the aura with accuracy, the passive that keeps boosting her ultimate energy. So if you're going Goblin, that's amazing. And then, obviously, buff, healing prohibition, battle skill, and then that ultimate, that's massive. It's not as obvious unless you read it. That can be AoE, as long as you have, debuffs out there. Plus, also bringing attack penalty. Like, what more do you want from her?
Yeah, she's amazing. I agree. She's, I didn't realize how good she was gonna be at the beginning of the game. Like, you could tell she was gonna be good. It sounded quirky. But it's so easy to set up to have someone else go before her with debuffs, and then she just attacks everybody AoE with 820% damage. So she smacks for sure. That's a good shout. I agree. I had the same one. But all right, let's go on to our most likely to kind of categories now. So most likely to kill you in one shot, who's your single target damage dealer that you want to mention?
Well, I'm gonna go with the Frost one, and I'm gonna go with Usha, actually. Because I have a feeling, if I'm not mistaken, she has the highest damage from all the epics and rares as long as Frost is out there. Like, that ultimate hits for, what's that, 1600 damage if there's Frost out there.
True.
So
That's a good
that's what I
shout.
thought. She's an amazing one. She can just smack.
So it's not even, it's even though she technically does AoE damage, even if there's only one enemy, she's still gonna pump out serious damage too.
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
good shout. Yeah, 1600% damage if there's Frost placed. For sure. I went a little bit of a different route. So my choice, I went with an epic that is kind of our little assassin. I went with Questa. She's kind of a perfect one-shot arena queen. I know people love to use her in arena. She's our little assassin
Yeah.
that jumps to the back. You know, she jumps to the back and she takes someone out, hopefully, with 950% damage to single target, and then stealing 30% of their ultimate energy as well. Oh, and she heals herself too. So while
Yeah.
she's in the middle of all the crazy, being surrounded by the enemies, she helps to keep herself alive. So I think she's a really fun single target damage dealer, despite them calling her support, like everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of people love her, especially for arena, because of her kit, for sure.
Cool, cool. All right, how about now, the most likely to kill your whole team in one shot? Is your answer the same?
No, because this time I went a little bit different, but I still went with the rare, and actually called out Sigrid.
Yeah.
For this one. Because, like we said earlier, if you have somebody, like, perfect example would be maybe somebody like a Voresh, paired with her, Voresh goes before her, puts AoE debuff, because she has, like, the full, the full board. She goes, smacks, everybody should be dead.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Any debuffer that does full board debuff, that means her attack is going to be a full board attack, which
Exactly.
not a lot of these heroes have a full board attack that are even legendary, let alone a rare. So it definitely makes her special. That's definitely a good shout. Well, that was my answer too, of course. How could I not? With that possibility, of course you do have to set it up, like you said. Like,
True.
if there's no debuffs placed on anybody, she's not gonna have an AoE on her ultimate. But there's so many options in the game now that you can find someone to go before her, and thanks to our timings, you can also make sure that happens with our presets.
Exactly.
All right, now let's get into something a little more specific. Let's talk. All right, so most likely to rally the troops.
So this one, there was two options. There's I wanted to pick a rare that I really liked as well, but I just had to go with Hegio. I really like Hegio because not only does he rally the troops, brings the rally on his passive every time he does an active or ultimate, he has a chance to give rally to somebody else, but he can do insane damage. He's just awesome.
I agree. I put him as well for most. I definitely, because this is just great damage. It obviously does more if he has rally on himself.
Mm-hmm.
He helps to put it on others. Like, so he's not just a selfish rally hero that needs someone else to put it on them like a lot of the heroes do.
Yeah.
He actually helps to enable the team, and he's a good damage. That's exactly why I chose him as well. So
Yeah, quick
solid
mention.
one there.
Yeah, I want to give a quick mention then to that rare over there is just Evania. She's another good one.
Oh yeah, she's a great enabler, right?
Yeah, on her passive, she has a 100% chance of giving rally to another ally whenever she gains it. So she's another good option for people that don't have Hegio.
Especially if you have a Filto that really needs to go boom.
Boom. Boom.
With that ultimate, he needs rally 100% of the time, or else,
It's not the same.
It's not the same. The magic is not there. So she's an amazing option if you need a budget person to just enable your main DPS. Just like with Wilds, it's all about enabling Flora. I feel like if you have Filto, everything should be, your focus in a rally team should be enabling Filto to be Filto, right?
That's true.
All right, now let's see. All right, the most likely to cover you in frost. All right, who is your top pick for a frost hero?
Okay, so I've not played that much with Frost people, but I have a feeling like Dorkuraz. Like, that's what I'm calling. Dorkuraz is the best one because he has it on the passive, a chance to proc. He has it on the battle skill, and then with the battle skill also pushes his ultimate. So he comes back to the ultimate more often. And again, that one's going to do some damage. So he's not going to place Frost on that one, but he's going to smack people under Frost.
Yeah, he does hit pretty hard. I did use him a bit in my Season 0 account Frost team, and he hits hard. He really does.
Yep.
All right, I actually went with Rava. I feel like Rava and Usha are really an amazing duo. And that's maybe a little bit more budget friendly for people that might not have a bunch of epics, but maybe you have Usha and you want to enable her. I feel like Rava's kind of the answer. She brings crit damage to all battles with her aura. And then for each enemy inflicted with frost, gains extra attack. Simple enough. Okay. But her battle skill, 100% chance to place frost with firing 3 orbs. So if there's one enemy only, yes, you don't have to, doesn't matter. 100%, right? Got the accuracy, you're good. And this is cool. This is what makes her really unique. Summons a nexus that lasts for 10 seconds in a designated area. So dealing cold damage every 1.5 seconds with a 100% chance of inflicting frost. So she's going to kind of put out a continuous damage and continuous frost procs. So she's a really great enabler too. And then she does like this explosion for extra damage. So
she's actually really amazing with somebody like Vidimir, I guess, as well, because Vidimir activates the frost.
Yeah.
So on his ultimate, so Rava would be the perfect pairing. That's a really good one. Nice.
I like that. All right, now the most likely to poison you quickly. Who's going to lead you to a painful death?
Well, I went back to the rares. I went with Lorari. Not because he does massive damage, but he can put up a ton of poison stacks. Like on the ultimate, he can put 3 stacks. The last 15 seconds on the battle skill, he can put 2 stacks, and both of them, if they're scrolled up, are 100%. So he can definitely stack up a ton of poisons to enable anybody else that might do more damage than him.
True. I think honestly, Lorari does fine. My experience with him, he did great against a boss because he has this. For each stack of poison ignores 2.5% of defense. He did great against single target, but he was absolutely terrible with waves. So that was just kind of disappointing because you're not really stacking up a bunch of poisons when you're doing wave clear. It doesn't happen that quickly, you know? So I do think he's probably pretty solid for even guild boss teams or vortex teams too. I actually went with a rare as well. I went with Dench. Dench is all about poisons, and I know I constantly see other people in like Discord shout him out as the top option to like enable a poison team for the same reason, just pumping out a ton of poisons. So every 3rd basic attack with this passive can put out a stack of poison, 100% chance. So basic attacks as well as 2 stacks for 15 seconds on the battle skill, and ultimate with, sprays a poison mist, which is every 0.8 seconds does a chance of 1 stack. Like, he's just a poison monster. Definitely see why he's a good shout there.
That's a good one for sure. Yep.
He's one I've never used though. It's like I swear one of these times I might. I know. I'm not giving him enough love, I think. All right. The most likely to get wild and crazy.
I mean, this one from my point of view is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It's gotta have to be Tunnel Nun. Like, she's just a monster. If you stack that passive up to get 100% extra crit damage, straight up start with more crit rate, she's just gonna be doing insane numbers. Like, if you're trying to build a wild team, like you mentioned earlier, but you don't have a Flora, Tunnel Nun's your next best option. She's gonna dish out a ton of damage.
Yeah, she does legendary level damage as an epic. Absolutely a top 5 epic in the game. Yeah. Definitely my choice for the best wild option as well.
She can go wild and crazy for sure. She can go wild and crazy.
Definitely could. I love it. And the other interesting thing is, even though she's all about damage, when you're building those higher end comps, because she does hit 5 times quite frequently, a lot of people use her as the Witch's Remains candidate, even though it does take away from some damage. But if you have Flora and you're just all about enabling a Flora, she's going to make sure 100% that is landing every time. Because, 5 chances to land and pretty good overall.
That's true.
All right, so most likely to dauntlessly run into battle. Who's our fearless beast?
Well, I guess it's kind of suits him really well, and that's going to be Shalter for me. Because, we all know Minotaurs are crazy melee battling units, and he's just the best thing if you want to do a Dauntless team. If you don't have, obviously legendaries, which is Ivelios, he's the best one. It's all about his ultimate, honestly. If you give him enough skill haste, he's gonna have the Blessing of Thunder up every single time, then get people that attack fast, preferably other Dauntless people. he's gonna do some insane numbers. Like he's gonna be very valiant up there on the front line, but he's gonna do some insane damage. Like he's in my he or used to be in my temporal vortex team. He's definitely the one here.
Yeah, he was the one I also put for Dauntless as well. Ironically, the one epic. Well, actually, I guess I have a couple. I don't have the newer guy Thurnus, but
Yeah.
I don't have him either. He's like one of my
Oh.
OG epics that I still haven't pulled. There's not many epics in general that I haven't pulled. Oh, I have them filtered. But yeah, he's still one of those I'm hoping to get. If it wasn't for, I guess, really wanting Garius, I might have chose him from the damn epic box just to make a proper Dauntless team, but yeah,
Next
one of these
season.
days, I hope I
If you pull him, yeah.
Next season, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, now, who's the most likely to summon a party?
Okay, so for this one, I went a little bit of a jokey one, but that's a good one. I went with Joyce because most of the summoners have those summons that they can bring under creatures, whatnot, but they're gonna be pretty squishy. I have a feeling like Joyce is gonna be the one that gonna keep making copies of himself, but can also be sustained. They're not gonna be as squishy as the other ones. So he's also a joker in there, so he's definitely gonna summon a party with that outfit.
I chose the same one actually. I really do think he has the most interesting summon kit out of the epics and rares for sure. And no, he might not do that. He's not like a big single or AoE, damage dealer like a Tio, but the actual summon itself is pretty interesting. And then he can have up to 3 at the same time. And yeah, I agree. They seem like they're a little bit better than the average, like summon a skeleton or whatever the hell the basic ghouls are. And he does look amazing. All right. So now let's go on to some debuffers. Who is the most likely to decrease your attack?
Okay, with this one, I went a little bit different. Again, I went down with the rare, and I actually chose, is he rare actually? Letalis. Yep, Letalis. And the reason why I chose him is because of his passive. Like on the passive, whenever he deals damage, he's gonna have a 50% chance of inflicting attack penalty. And with the attack interval, 182, he's gonna do damage a ton. So it's not the big version, but at least he's gonna almost always keep it up. Every 5 seconds, if he hits 3 times, there's gonna be a chance he's gonna place it back up. So I went with Letalis for this one.
Yeah, I feel like I saw a lot of Letalis in dungeon battles when people did not have a Sigrid. Because he brings that decreased attack and the healing prohibition. He's kind of like if you were unlucky enough to not pull a Sigrid yet, although everyone should have one because the box. So I think because everyone should just have a Sigrid, and I think her kit is a little bit more versatile. I definitely didn't consider him in my options personally. I did go with an epic. I went with Vic Cook here because he has it on a battle skill as well. Big version on a battle skill, 5 seconds only for initial, and then 10 seconds to recharge. And he brings some decent attack along the way. Got a little 300% attack. Helps. He's a support guy, bringing some extra attack along it. And yeah, 100% chance to land on a battle skill is very reliable. And a great second option, especially if you have one that you want to tune with an ultimate, and then he could be your second decrease attack that just helps to make sure it's always up when your ultimate's not going on.
I was looking at him myself, but I'm like, you know what? Let me go a little bit of a curveball with this one.
Yeah, it's different. I like that. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, kind of on the same topic as we were just saying, who is most likely to prohibit you from healing?
Well, that one's, I guess, pretty straightforward, as this one's from the epic/rare categories and is the best one in the game, and it's Sigrid. I don't think anybody else can keep healing prohibition up more consistently than her. Like battle skill healing prohibition, ultimate healing prohibition, gaining also if you kill stuff, she comes back to her ultimate, so she's always gonna stop you from healing. Like if she's in the team, keep in mind you're not gonna heal, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely endgame viable for all the dungeon content and everything where you need to prevent healing. I didn't get her till late. I had to choose her from the damn box myself. In my Starlight account, but no regrets, that's for sure. All right, most likely to steal your protection. Oh, I can't really search for this one. Who's our buff stripper of choice?
Okay, if we go over to Lightning, I went with the little sneaky thief of Grover. I had to go with Grover
That's
because
a good
he's
one,
just
yeah.
he's a monster. I mean, look at the recharge time. Like that's insane. It's
For an
16
ultimate.
seconds. Yeah, 16 seconds for an ultimate, and he steals two of them. It's like, what more do you want from him? Oh yeah, you want more. He also has a chance to steal ultimate energy on the battle skill. So he's definitely the steal your protection, steal your time, steal everything. I guess that's why he's called the witty trickster.
Yeah, I love it. I love that they kind of played off the name with that being like a
Yeah.
sneaky little kid who's just gonna go in there with like it's like Arya with Needle or something. You know,
Yeah,
she's gonna
that's true.
But yeah, that's a really good shout, especially for a budget-friendly option. I think at the end of the day, I just still have to go with our. Oh, I guess I'm in the wrong category here. Let me move over here. I gotta go Voresh, just because
Yeah.
he has stealing or dispelling a buff on his battle skill, which hits 3 times as well. So you're gonna be pretty likely to get rid of it. Although it is not 100% chance to land. But when you couple that with the idea of buff prohibition also on his ultimate, he's really a great just anti-buffer. Period. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the big boy.
you're basically stealing the chance of protection
Yeah,
with a buffer vision.
exactly.
That's a good shout.
It's a little bit of both. Not perfect
Yes,
for removing buffs, but he also prevents them. So a little
that's
bit
true.
of both. I kind of.
Yeah, yep.
All right, now let's get into some crowd control. Who's the most likely to leave you stunned?
This one, I obviously have to go with my bae. You know, I have to go with Lolita. I have to go with Yola. I just love her. She's just so unique, and it's basically the stun is the passive as you're showing there. So whenever she attacks enemies under silence, she has a chance to transform that into a stun. And basically, she does the silence on the battle skill with the 2 hits. But then also on the ultimate, she basically hits 3 times. So whenever she does that, if she places the silence on the first hit, the second or the third have a chance to transform that into a stun. Also bringing attack penalty, also attack aura. Like she's
Yeah.
just OP. I love my Lolita.
And I talk about in my video that I recently posted called Dynamic Duos, being able to pair someone who does silence more often, with Yola. So that's a whole
Yeah.
nother conversation. But if you have silence up and she converts it to stun, it's just gonna be
Yeah.
another good duo. But yeah, I really like her. I still have yet to actually build her on either one of my. Oh, I don't have her on the Starlight
One
account, but I've never built her on my main account. One of these days I will, I swear.
one day.
But I'm actually going to call out someone who's got a unique kit here with Naguk. Naguk.
Yeah.
So he's a little bit quirky here. This passive, again, a passive, static field exists around the hero, dealing damage to surrounding enemies every 1 second. Upon taking damage from the static field every 10 times, an enemy has a 100% chance of being stunned. I feel like that would keep it up a little bit easier than like an ultimate you have to wait 20 seconds to come back to.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of a battle skill, basically, if you think about it. Because battle skills are around 10 seconds, so him having that as a passive is awesome. Plus the ultimate, that makes it even more interesting. Because he makes that full board. He makes that full board so he can stun everyone.
Very good. Yeah, he's got a cool kit. It's a weird one, but I haven't used him yet either, but he's got a really interesting kit.
Yeah, I might have picked him as well, but I cannot betray my Lolita. I had to go with her.
I kind of figured.
Yeah.
All right, now let's go into some more supports here. Who is the most likely to shield you from harm?
Okay, so with this one, I actually chose, because I played around with her a little bit, I went with Isolde. She is just amazing at doing that. She brings you that massive shield. She also can do damage. She also brings attack penalty, but then on the passive reduces the damage you take by by allies that are under her shield. So she's definitely a shielding unit. I mean, look at that armor that she has. Look at that armor.
Yeah, she looks really cool.
Yes.
She's one I don't have, of course. Another one that makes me sad. But I actually was debating between her and Adolphus, who I'm going with. Adolphus is actually a better shielder. If the target already has a shield, then it's also adds extra healing as well. I love that as well. But this probably ends up equaling itself out. If you build Adolphus really well with a lot of enlightenment, it's going to be an amazing shield. I've used him already on my Starlight account, and he is just helping me so much with progression. He's actually my first hero guide I put out already for like a new champion spotlight for this season. He's my first one I did. And
Yeah.
yeah, also extra shielding on the battle skill too. So
I guess
him
he has
and
the
Isolde
advantage.
together. That's him and
Yeah.
Isolde together is the real answer.
He has the advantage of having it like he does a full board, whereas Isolde just
Yeah,
around her.
yes, this is the
He just
confusing part too, so that's a good point. I'm
doesn't
glad you
say.
said that. Because it says shield all allies. That does mean the full board, guys. But you might see this and think this is how tiny the shield range is, but actually that's just how tiny the attack range is for his
Yeah.
attack. But his actual shield is the whole board. So that is important because that's another, I guess, yeah, the advantage over Isolde is she only puts a shield around like the melee units around her, where he does the whole board. But
Yeah.
in Vortex is the perfect example where they're an amazing duo to keep everyone alive, just the two of them with shields and extra healing and damage mitigation.
Yeah, I got corrected on Adolphus myself. Somebody said like, "Oh, Adolphus is a good shielder." I'm like, "No, he has a small range."
No,
Somebody
it's a
told me,
whole
"No,
board.
it's just
Yeah.
damage, full board." So,
I
we learn.
I did the same. I thought the same thing at first when I got him, and then I kept noticing, why is he putting shields on everybody? And then I had to like
Yeah.
reread it again to even realize, oh, it really is all allies.
Yep.
All right. So on the idea of, well, I guess let's just go back to our kind of same topic. Who is going to be the best to strengthen your defense of you and your allies?
Well, this one actually went with Sifris because she can do that full board defense up, and also she does a revive on the same skill. So Sifris, the poison top. There we go.
There she is. I scrolled
Yeah,
right by her.
Yeah. So I
Yep.
definitely feel like she's
Full
the
board.
good one. Like she does have a long recharge time, but it's a full board. Like doesn't matter what it is, she just can land that one. So I feel like she's a good one. She's a good shout out at that one. She just kills herself, so bring another healer alongside her.
Yes,
But
or unless it's a kind of battle where you can just stick her in a corner and she takes no damage, like Venom or something, then she could be okay there.
Yeah.
But if it's anything where, yeah, a too long of a battle, she's just gonna keep killing herself and killing herself and killing herself.
That's
All right,
true.
so I actually went with Isolde this time. This was my pick for Isolde because where is it? She brings it around her on just a small version, but it's really helpful when you're dealing with those melee characters that are squishy. And I know this is my example of using the small version and not the big version. But I really like her because she brings everything. She brings shields, she brings defense up, and she brings the damage mitigation as well. So it's kind of like, not only is she just straight giving you a little bit of a defense buff to everyone around her, but she's also going to mitigate damage in multiple ways. And a defense aura doesn't hurt. So that was my pick.
Yeah, she's a damage mitigation unit on her own for sure. That's a good one. Yep.
All right, now who's the most likely to cleanse your impurities?
Well, for this one, I will have to go with my good old buddy Vikuk. Like he's just amazing. He brings that on the ultimate that it's a full board. So again, doesn't matter where you are. Just gonna dispel 2 of those. Also heal, and the more debuffs he dispels, the more healing he's gonna do. Plus obviously battle skill that brings attack down and whatnot. Vikuk I love him. He's amazing. I'm using him a lot.
I just got him on my free to play, which is huge because if I ever get to Vortex level 4, I need someone to deal with that decreased defense, right? And he'll be a perfect candidate for that. But I went with something a little quirky. I went with our rare hero. Where is he? Way down here. There he is, Fitz. I went with Fitz because Fitz has this full board, transfers all allied debuffs to himself. All, not one, not two, not three, all of them. So that's a really unique thing that I don't think many, if any, other heroes even have that. All hit debuffs. But you're like, oh, but he gives them to himself. Well, number one, he has ways to get rid of that where his battle skill randomly dispels a debuff from himself, which is super, super great. And the more debuffs he has, the less damage he takes. So if he does take on a bunch of debuffs, he's actually not going to take as much damage as you think. But also you can build him with resistance. And then as he grabs the debuffs and puts them on himself, he doesn't actually put them on himself, which is super cool. And I didn't even think of at first when I started using him.
Yeah, he's the only one from Epics Rares, like Epics or below, that can do like a full cleanse in a sense.
Yeah, it's
There's
crazy.
nobody else that I know. I know there's some legendaries, but Epics or below, definitely better than my call for sure. How did I forget about him? I built him. I used him myself.
I love him. Yeah, he's great.
It's fine.
All right, now who's the most likely to heal everyone's wounds?
Well, this one, we're gonna have to go. I think you're gonna have to select defense as well for this one, because I went with
Oh,
a little
yeah,
bit of a
that's true.
curveball. I went with a little bit of a curveball. I didn't choose an actual, just simple healer per se. I went with our good old buddy Garius.
Oh,
He's just
okay.
he's a
Good
heal
point.
machine. He's a
Good
heal.
point.
Like, I haven't seen, honestly, now that I played a bit with him, I haven't seen anybody heal as much as he does.
It's
When he
insane,
does
the
that,
numbers. Yeah.
paired with his passive, because that one skills us of the passive, he basically, after he gets those stacks up, 40% extra defense, just stack a ton of defense on him, he's gonna fully heal everybody every time. He's just a monster. Just a monster.
Yeah, that's
Tank
a
and
really
heal.
good show. He's so cool. He's so good. I'm glad I
Yes.
picked him from the box.
Me too. Me too.
Oh, he's really, really good.
Yeah.
I actually went with someone who was more of a traditional healer per se that I also don't have. I like how I don't have most of my best category heroes. I went with Catherine, who kind of is our better version of Hexandra for most
Yeah.
content, except Ancient Battlefield, of course. But I just went with her because she does bring out the same utility we love from Hexandra, but she does it on all her skills as well. She has a passive, restores the allies' HP, blah, blah, blah. Extra is converted to a shield, which is great. Her battle skills, same thing. Heals the ally with the lowest HP, and then also big version of defense up on them. And her ultimate heals all allies within range and puts debuff immunity. So she's got like Hexandra plus a little bit more. And I kind of like that she kind of brings a lot to the table there.
Yeah, she's amazing for sure. I don't have her myself either, so hopefully one day.
Yeah, hopefully next season is. I mean, I feel like she'd be my choice of a radiant healer if, like, I didn't. I mean, not legendary version, of course, but.
Oh yeah, free to play. So no Mithrasia then, right? No Mithrasia.
No Mithrasia. No Mithrasia.
I love my Mithrasia. Mithrasia
Oh my
forever.
god, I know.
She's too good.
Most likely to bring you back to life.
For this one, bring you back to life, I go again with Cyphrus. I had to, because she's the one that can. I don't think there's a better reviver in the epics. There's another one that does single target, but she does, revives 2 people and then also again puts that defense up. So I feel like Cyphrus is the right one here.
Yeah, there's really only like Clovis. Is it Clovis or is it the two? I always forget
Clovis,
the horsey.
yeah.
Which one does Kamari or Kamari?
I have no idea. I
always forget Kamari or Clovis which one does which thing, but one of them has a revive as well.
Yeah.
And but she also has this lovely passive that brings herself back alive the first time she's about to die, or has the potential to prevent her from dying, I should say, with Resurrection on Death. Doesn't bring her back. It prevents her from dying. But yeah, I also went with Cyphrus just because she, full board, heal, and revive, and defense up as well. It doesn't hurt for sure. All right, what's our category we missed? What do you think we missed?
Well, I think we missed, since the Halloween just passed, I think we missed the fright side. Like, who's the most likely to fear the crap out of you?
That's what... Oh, I didn't say that. You're right. I passed right by it.
No, we didn't.
I thought you meant we just missed it in general. No, we missed the one on my list. You're right.
No.
Exactly. Who is most likely to, fear the crap out of you? Fear. There's not many.
Slim pickings. But yeah, it's obviously Zorloth. It has to be
He
Zorloth.
Might also give you nightmares, just saying.
Yes, just don't look at his face too much. Don't look at that face. But yeah, fear, damage, heal, what's it called? The aura to increase the damage as well. He's just a unit. He's kind of like a different version of Vorash. That's how I see him, with different kind of buffs, debuffs,
Yeah, I really like him. He was my most wanted for my Starlight account. But then when it came down to it, I had to pick Vorash from the $1 box. I just had to. But I love him. I got him very early on my Season 0 account, and I could immediately tell he hit harder than most. I was really impressed by his damage. It's hard to kind of tell when it's these small amounts every 1 second or every X amount of seconds. It doesn't sound good immediately.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a little bit deceiving at first, but he smacks. And definitely a top epic in the game overall. So I think that's actually a really good one to end with.
Yep, exactly.
A big ol' list. Some of the best epics and rares in the game, but kind of talked about in a little bit of a fun manner. Let me know in the comments below, guys. Do you guys have any fun thoughts to add to our list from our yearbook superlatives? And thank you, Odd1, for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to join you from the other room.
Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.